Welcome to Stark Raving Social, the podcast for comms pros who want to stay ahead in a world that won't stop changing. Your host is Sherry Lynn Starkey, social media strategist, industry pioneer, and trusted advisor to brands navigating the digital landscape. With decades of experience in marketing, PR, and social media, she's here to bring you the insights, strategies, and conversations you need to stay ahead of the curve. From shifting algorithms to AI-driven content, from crisis comms to culture shifts, if it's shaping the future of our industry, you'll hear about it here. This is Stark Raving Social.
Hey there, and welcome to Stark Raving Social, the bite-sized podcast for marketing and comms professionals who want to stay ahead in a world that won't stop changing. I'm Sherry Lynn Starkey, and please forgive how I sound this week. I've got the tail end of a cold. Today, we're talking about a question I hear all the time from marketers, social managers, and let's be honest, pretty much anyone who has a social media account. Do I really have to reply to every comment? The short answer, yes, but also no. Let me explain. First things first, I want to say that replying is the gold standard. When someone comments on your content, they're giving you their time and attention, and that's a gift, especially in the attention economy that we live in. Replying does three things. It boosts visibility because most algorithms love a good conversation. It builds trust. You're showing that there's a real person behind the brand. And it just feels good for them and for you. I've seen this in action with one of my clients, a small local retailer in a pretty competitive niche. She built a fierce, loyal customer base by replying to every DM and tag and comment. Her audience isn't massive, but the conversions rate, wildly impressive. People feel seen, and when they feel seen, they stick around. Now contrast that with two other clients of mine, big players. One's a global telecom company with a culty science nerd fan base. The other one is a national arts organization with a big, solid presence. Great visibility, tons of comments, but radio silence. No replies, no likes, no nothing. They're full on broadcast mode. And while that might be a strategic decision, I know they're leaving value on the table. So yeah, replying matters. But I'm not here to guilt trip anybody because I know something. It's hard. Here's why. First, replying takes time, real time. Most social media managers are already juggling content calendars, ad reports, analytic platforms, and about a dozen stakeholder opinions at the same time. Even when the comments are positive, it still takes emotional energy to show up and engage thoughtfully. And when the trolls crawl out of the woodwork, it can be exhausting. Then there's the approval bottlenecks. In sectors like healthcare, finance, government, every comment might need to go through a chain of approvals. And by the time it's cleared, the moment's already passed. And the bigger your audience, the more overwhelming this gets. If your posts are pulling in hundreds, even thousands of comments, replying becomes a full-time job in itself. So no, you don't have to reply to everything, but you should try to reply to something. Here's how you can make that manageable. Start by prioritizing. Not every heart emoji or one word cool needs a response. Instead, focus on questions, genuine feedback, or comments that show you that someone is paying attention. That's where the relationship building begins. Next, make life a little easier with template responses. Just use them sparingly. Think of them as a base recipe that you can start as a standard reply, but always tweak it so you still sound human and personal. And please, don't live in your DMs all day. Block off a set time, maybe 15, 30 minutes, twice a day, just to focus on replies. That kind of batching can really save your sanity. And if you're lucky enough to work with a team, see if others can pitch in. Sometimes customer service, HR, or even sales teams that are already having these conversations elsewhere, they might be happy to jump in on social to help out. And yes, AI can be helpful here. Tools like Meta's suggested replies or even ChatGPT can give you a head start. But don't let them do all the work. Always edit for tone of voice and context. Authenticity still matters. And here's a big one. You don't have to engage with everyone. If someone is being toxic or if it's a bot, or if it's clearly just bad faith, walk away, mute, block, move on, protect your energy. Now, if the volume of comments is just too much to keep up with, here's a solid workaround. Respond thematically. In a follow-up post, mention what you've been seeing in the comments. For example, you could say something like, "A bunch of you asked about our timeline, and here's what's happening." Or, "We loved all your suggestions yesterday, and here's how we're incorporating your feedback." That kind of public acknowledgement shows people that you're paying attention, even if you don't have time to reply to every person individually. They will know that they are being heard. Final thought, replying to every single comment may not be realistic, but it should always be your intention. If you can't reply to everything, reply to something. Show up, be present. Give your audience the same attention that you'd hope for if your roles were reversed, because social media isn't just a megaphone. It's a relationship platform. And the brands that win, they're not always the loudest. Sometimes they're the ones that answer back. That's it for today's show. I'm Sherry Lynn Starkey, and this is Stark Raving Social.
Thanks for tuning in. If you got value from today's show, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and please leave a rating or review, which helps others find the show. And if you know a fellow comms pro who could use these insights, share the podcast and help them stay ahead in a world that won't stop changing. Until next time, keep learning, keep adapting, and keep making an impact.